Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with Cody Carpentier on a big Thursday, middle of May Thursday, halfway through May. And what that means is now that we're here getting towards the end of May, that means Cody, so we're only like 2 months out from Texas getting into fall camp. We are about 2 weeks out from Texas starting their summer program. We're going to have some team notes from, maybe we won't be able to go over these team notes today because the war room's not out yet. We might be able to hit those on Final Takes Friday. But we do have some other stuff as far as recruiting. We have the update on Ezekiel Ayangbo, the 2026 edge rusher that we've been telling you guys about.
Great pronunciation there.
Yeah, since I was able to see him and kind of get the word out about that guy at the Elite 11. So we're going to talk about him. Also, some recruiting board updates from Jason Sukamel at Orange Bloods as far as the way that the team build is looking, or at least the recruiting board build is looking at the offensive line is something that Cody wanted to kind of hit on. We had the NFL schedule release just come out. And so Cody and I definitely have some thoughts on that. Cody, we saw a lot to get to, brother. How do you want to start it out?
Let's start out with Ezekiel Ayangbo, the edge rusher from Langham Creek in Houston, 6'3", 258 pounds, the son of Houston great Dwayne Brown. He's a 2027 edge rusher, not 2026.
So what did I say? 26? I'm sorry.
I don't. It doesn't matter. I just was more so just referencing it so it gets context here. He's not ranked in the top 250. Alex and I both believe this kid's going to be a top 250 kid. I think I can speak for you in that. Right now, he's graded as a low 4-star according to Rivals. The update, really, over the course of the last week, he's gotten offers from Baylor, Texas Tech. He got North Carolina yesterday, Sac State, Brennan Marion, TCU, Texas Tech. Those were just in the last week. Before that, it had been a few months since he's gotten offers.
It was only three, dude. It was only 3 offers at Elite 11.
Yeah, so that was Tulsa, Houston, and his dad's alma mater, Virginia Tech. The update, though, on Ayangbo came via Sam Spiegelman from Rivals, who now I just lost the column. I don't know where the hell it went. Great.
Spiegelman's article on him?
Yeah, okay, now I'm back. Okay, I went multiple screens here. Anyway, the update says, and I quote from Ayangbo, Texas has been really heavy on the recruiting side. The 4-star 2027 defender was on campus in Austin earlier this spring visiting with Sark, Kenny Baker, and first-year edge coach Lee Allen Clark. This is new because I don't think we knew he was on campus. I don't think we knew he was on campus earlier this year. He wasn't really in the window. Kind of the focus has been on the 2026 kids. It sounds like he did get in for the elite camp, or he's going to be in town for the elite camp next month, it says on this write-up from Sam Spiegelman. He said, and I quote, "It was a nice experience down there, and I can't wait to get back." And I quote, "I love the new facilities. That's a standard out there." Ayangbo continued, "The coaching staff there is great. Coach Clark is a great coach. I really respect him and Coach Baker down there too. They really stand out to me. They're really upfront with me when they talk about everything, and they've helped me improve myself already. It's a lot of positive things." And Alex, before you jump in, I got one question for you. Lee Allen Clark and Kenny Baker, how impressed are you with how they've attacked recruiting in the last, for Baker, 365 days, for Clark, the last 2 months? Because it feels like when you're scrolling on X, all these offers that have gone out, these dudes are boots on the ground, in homes, at schools, at games, whatever they're doing. They seem like they're pretty dialed, which, again, from someone who hasn't been in the meat and the potatoes of the Texas recruiting for the last decade and a half, feels like it's a little bit different maybe than the last couple of defensive line coaches.
Well, I've always said I was never a giant fan of what Bo Davis brought as a recruiter. I think that what Bo Davis brought was I think what he brought was like this level of kind of gravitas that other guys who seem to be good recruiters who are good at connect. I mean, he's kind of he's like these other guys who are like natural connecting with these younger players and who are good and more personable and stuff can point at him and say like, dude, that guy, he's a little bit stodgy and stuff, but he puts dudes in the league. right? He's done it here. He's done it here. He's done it here. He's done it here. He's obviously very well respected. You
Yeah.
know, he's worked in the NFL. He's in the NFL now. But I was never. He's just. I mean, Coach Bo is. Not all coaches are the most personable people. I think back to like. I don't think he was a zero in the same way that like Joe Wickline when he was at Texas was just he was an offensive line coach, Cody, that Texas had. I forgot whether he was under Charlie Strong or whether he was. I get it all mixed up now, man. There was such bad football for about a decade. But with Wickline, that's a guy who was like, I mean, everybody would admit that he's your like straight out of central casting for an offensive line coach, right? You can't tell if he's an offensive line coach or some kind of old like military, one of these guys that puts them through basic training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like absolutely no personality that any kid's going to resonate with. And I'm not saying that I think that about Bo Davis, but there were always frustrations about him, about how like all the defensive linemen who Texas was recruiting, it was always relationships with other coaches and stuff like that. I think that Alan Clark, what he's done, and to a certain extent, Kenny, these guys act like they love Kenny Baker too.
Yeah.
But it's just like with Alan Clark, it's a guy who, you know, the intel that I have on him just mainly comes from me going around and bugging every single kid that came from Ohio State at the combine, just saying, "Hey, man, tell us what to think about this guy," you know. And everybody from JTT to even guys that don't even play the position, like what's the deal, Ty Leak, and some of these guys, they would say, "What's his name? I can't believe the guy that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life."
Jack Short.
Even him, you know, it's like that's an inside linebacker. It's not an edge guy. They all talk about how this dude is just everybody just loved him. And now you get I'm hearing from people on the Texas side, it's like going into that guy's office is the most fun place to hang out for all these guys, even for the dudes who don't even play edge. They all just like him. So obviously he's gonna be good. And if you just talk about it from a pure position coach kind of thing, just ask JT Tuimoloau. I can say Ayangbo. I can't say Tuimoloau. JT. Just ask JTT. I don't want to call him JTT because apparently he hates being called that.
Really? That's like Tet McMillan not liking Tet.
He doesn't like that?
I guess he likes T-Mac, which to me, he'll never be called T-Mac other than this instance right now because T-Mac is Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, right. No, like, yeah. You could be getting almost a little bit out of the – he could be Tracy McGrady's probably to the point where that patent's about to run out.
He probably don't even know who that is.
I was going to say. But no, he's just like – for the guys that played under him, they just say like the connection with this guy is just it's almost like brotherly. He's so young. So yeah, man, it's great to see. And like I've been saying on the board, I'm like every time we get an update about Ezekiel Ayangbo, I'm just like, dude, I would have insta offered this guy. I would have already offered him already. And I said, man, it's just going to take one big one to come in. And once the big one comes in, you're going to get everybody else copycatting it. I don't know, as I look over the offer list here, whether he's had the truly big one come in yet.
Well,
I was thinking it might be Alabama because he's already camped there and they like him and he's going to go back and camp there again. I mean, he's going to be camping at Alabama. He's going to be camping at he's coming to the Texas Elite Camp. I can get with his trainer. I can send him. I don't want to send him a DM, but
they got all the lower level Texas, like the Tech, TCU, Baylor. So it's like he's like right there. Sac State's usually early or late. They're early now with Brendan Marion. North Carolina yesterday. That one could be one.
I was kind of thinking that's like that feels like.
It is 2027, though. I feel like we keep thinking with this kid, it's like, this is late, but it's like, technically, it's still.
I should know this, but how many 2026 guys did Texas have on the board by this time last season? Diabell was super early.
Well, Diabella had like committed.
What?
I said Diabella had like committed by June, right? June last year.
Yeah. Oh, right. So I'm thinking commitment. Feels like they probably, it feels like the kind of time where you start offering
Right now
start
for
offering.
2026, they have DNs, they have edge rushers, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They got about 16 to 18 edge rushers offered. That's pure edge. And in 2027, right now, they currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 edge rushers offered.
Well, I mean, just here's what I've always thought about Ezekiel Ayangbo is that he brings all the intangibles that you would want. He looks like $1,000,000. He moves extremely well, but I don't know if he has a good enough tape yet because he just changed positions from tight end to where he's fully committed to playing, defensive end / edge. And I think maybe Texas is saying, man, we'd like to see the junior film, right? That's kind of what I was thinking about. Maybe how some of these programs would have been thinking about him, because I have it on good authority from a separate major SEC university that they're into that they're in on him too, and they're poking around him too, and they want to see they want to see some film from next season to see how see if he's taking a step.
So it's a
Because
game of chicken.
what?
It's a game of chicken. Bunch of these schools like him. They want to be the first one to listen. Like if I was the director of player personnel, head scout, coach, you name the position in one of these schools, what's one thing that is like it's not on film? I didn't see the guy in person yet. What's one thing that comes to mind immediately with a recruit that you're like insta offer? Well, probably his dad being a Hall of Fame type player.
Dad. I mean, so I kind of
Hall of
came
Fame type dad, offer him.
and just he's got the attributes.
It's like
And here's the thing, Cody. I was super impressed with the guy before I even heard who his dad was.
That was the best part because you were like, this kid's a stud. And then I think you looked it up and I looked it up at the same, and it was like Dwayne Brown.
Yeah,
like,
you might have been the one. You might have been the one to tell me from the camp. I'm like, dude, you got to see this guy. And you were looking him up, like, so it's like, I don't know, man. I think it's good.
His name was Ezekiel Brown. What do you have an offer already?
Zeke Brown.
Sounds like a starter in the NFL right now.
It does, man. I'm telling you, Texas, 2027 is still a long ways off. It hasn't been a long time since I've been at Texas Beef Traders. I was there just earlier today, picking up a bunch of beef. They got Cody a care package. I guess
You got me some beef.
Yeah, I got you a care package. I think, and I think I'm probably going to send you home with some of the ground beef they gave me, just because I have some from last time, and I just have a whole 2 freezers full of like ground axis and stuff like that. So I don't need it as much as you do, because with all the rice and beef that you eat. So yeah, you got a bunch of ribeyes and some Denver steaks and ground beef and stuff coming your way whenever you get a chance to pick it up. But dude, it's a luxury to be able to have a place like this that that is so close by and that has such elite, high quality, delicious meat that hasn't been sullied by any kind of weird antibiotics or weird mRNA shots. No vaccines, period. You don't want your meat shot up with this stuff, dude. You want good, pure protein. You want that for your family, right? It's healthy. It's good for you, man. Cody, isn't protein the building blocks of all your muscle?
The building block. Yeah, you gotta have some carbs too, but the protein is the numero uno to everything, in my opinion. I mean, it's the building block. It's the amino acids. There's creatine in steak. Like people say, you need creatine in your lifting to retain water and build muscle and recover and stuff. It's like, well, guess what? There's creatine in ribeyes.
If,
So
if you are away from home and you don't want to take your bottle of creatine with you and you're going for like 3 days, can you just make sure and eat steak and you can get you enough creatine to where it'll keep up the supply in your body to where you don't got to reload?
well, I mean, if you're taking like 5 milligrams of 5 grams of creatine,
Yeah.
yeah, you can probably do it with, like a steak a day, big steak a day. If you're taking like 10 milligrams, probably not. Probably not. You probably, I don't know if you can quite get that much in there. I'm not sure how much you get out, but if you're eating steak on the regular, which I believe in, I think you believe in it.
Yes.
We're not doctors, but we are meat scientists.
Well, here's the thing. There is such a thing as meat scientists. They're called bovine nutritionists. They're on staff there at MTX Beef. You get 10% off whenever you tell them you heard about them here on Football with Friends. Make sure and go see them. It is right there in Lakeway, 620 and Loman's Crossing. I was there just earlier today. They were talking about how I forgot who it was. That some ex Texas basketball player was just in there earlier today. Hassan Ridgway's always going in there. Derek Johnson's always going in there. That's just it's a who's who, man. They know where to find the best beef. You can get 10% off. And if you don't live in the Lakeway area and you just want to try it out, call up there, call to the shop, make an order, get your 10% off, talk to Darren, tell him where you live. He'll bring it to your house. Texas Beef Traders. Go check them out.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Since we're talking about beef, I saw this on X, and then I also saw it on the board. And you spoke about a former Texas Longhorn. I want to get your instant reaction to this tweet here from DeMarvian Overshone. He says, "My kinfolk and I are going to have one of the biggest ranches in Texas, raise our kids to be cowboys, and sell the best quality beef you can find. Stay tuned." Well, sounds like somebody that's going to partner with Texas Beef Traders.
He needs to get a big second contract to get one of the biggest ranches in Texas.
That's what everybody said on Orange Bloods. They were like, "Listen, you're going to need a Micah Parsons contract."
Well, and here's the thing: it's like one of the biggest ranches. In how big is the King Ranch?
Well, King Ranch 4.6s. I mean, you couldn't even buy 4.6s. I don't think now that Taylor Sheridan has it.
It's 800. It's 825,000 acres. It's. I mean, this is a.
Kids, 4.6s sold for $320 million.
Okay. Well, I just know that. I just know that
56,000 acres. That's not even. What'd you say? 850,000.
825,000.
That's a quarter of the acreage for the 4.6s, and it's over $320 million. So that means that's over $1 billion ranch.
Yeah. So it's the King Ranch is. I mean, it's something. There, like, if you want to get down to South Padre from here, you got to drive. I think it's South Padre. Maybe it's just going down to. I think, but if you get down from Austin, it's like there's a place where it says, like, man, here's the deal. You got to get gas here because you're about to enter the King Ranch and you're not going to be able to get gas for like 300 miles. It's like it's a giant ranch.
They got like a Buc-ee's there or something. They
should put one there. Last time I went there, I'm not sure. But last time I was in South Padre, I was in college. I'm not sure Buc-ee's was even around. But here's what I was gonna. Buc-ee's isn't that old. The thing about I think though, even if you wanted to buy, I'd have to do the math in my head. But like giant ranches in Texas. I mean, the place where I go hunt, it's like 4,800 acres. And I just consider it giant. I think it's palatial. It's an unbelievable, awesome place, right? Beautiful, beautiful place on a spring-fed creek. It's got a house that was built. It was basically built during a time wherever it's had to be rebuilt twice because two different times, Comanches burned it down. So like it's been around for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And that place is like. It's just like one of many ranches just in a row, just along the state highway. It isn't like it's that, and to buy a ranch like that, you're looking at $5,000 an acre. So what is that? 20, maybe 20 million something?
I was just going to say, so the Bosque Mountain Ranch in Waco County sold for 20 million. It's for sale for 20 million. This was a year ago. That's 282 acres.
282?
282 acres on the Bosque Mountain Ranch.
Okay. Well, I mean, that sounds over. That sounds like they probably have some kind of incredible river access, or
Yeah.
like,
It's I mean it's Texas Hill Country Ranch is what it's labeled as. I know Bosky's also the Taylor Sheridan Ranch. Like it's another
maybe
one.
there's a really, really, really nice ranch house and some amenities, I would imagine.
But
Yeah. Anyway, DeMarvion, if he wants to have one of the biggest ranches in all of Texas, he's gonna have to be on the cover of Madden and get a couple of things like that going. You got some chats here that you starred. Anything you wanted to throw up here on the screen before
yeah,
we
what do
talk
we have
about?
in here? What were they?
I don't know. I just saw you just got this one from 15 weekends. Is
15
that
weeks till football's back. Yeah, 100 days.
is it what until fall
Ohio
camp
State.
starts or until the Hall of
That's,
Fame game?
I think that's until August 30th,
Oh, so less than that until the Hall of Fame game?
right? Or was that I'm assuming that's what they were labeling because somebody said no. 107 days. I don't know who said Sailor Joe said 100. Colby says 100. Okay, there we go. 107. I missed
So
100.
107 for week, or so 100 for week 0. So that would mean take off 21 days or something like that for until the Hall of Fame game. That's usually the first week in August.
So August 9th, I know I'm going to be in Minnesota, and I know there's a game then. The first game, August 7th, Hall of Fame game is July 31st. I feel like
Oh,
is that the earliest that game's ever been?
oh, dude, we're coming up on like 70 something days until we can like have legit
77
football to
days.
talk about. I know it's just preseason in NFL, but golly,
77 days until Chargers Lions.
Chargers Lions. Well, get our first look at who do we get our first look at? Think we'll get a look at Omari and Hampton in that game? We'll certainly get a look at Isaac Tesla.
Oh, we're certainly going to get some Isaac Tesla. That'll be some. This is so degenerative, right? Like Isaac Tesla, anytime touchdown, July 31st. Count it.
He's absolutely scoring. He's yeah. Okay. What about the other update that I wanted to talk about from the recruiting board was from.
I didn't see the recruiting board. Did that just get dropped today?
Yeah,
I must have missed that.
Jason put it up a little bit earlier. So let me just get to it here. The recruiting board. So there's been some movement this week, and the one guy that kind of stood out to me here was it. I mean, he still has Mark Bowman from the tight end I love so much as 40%. That's down, but Texas he says a 40% chance. This Caden Prothro guy, is he from Bowden, Georgia? Is he the one you were telling me about yesterday?
Yeah, he's the other Georgia. He's the other Georgia. The Georgia's going hard on Bowman and Prothro. I don't know why. I'm interested in this fact. Maybe it's because they got an official visit out of the kid, but everything I've read doing my behind the enemy line stuff is like Prothro is like the shoe-in Georgia Bulldog. Like if you're going to put a future cast on a kid for tight end, it'd be Prothro to be Georgia. So I'm interested in the fact that he's now made this kind of a even battle with the uptick going to Prothro to be a Longhorn and Bowman going down. These are guys this is tight end 2 and tight end 3 in the country. Bowman's going to be, they both took UVs, unofficial visits, on the 29th of March. And Bowman's going to be in town June 6th. Caden Prothro is going to be in town on June 20th for official visits to Texas. I didn't see this Prothro thing coming.
40% chance.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like if you got a 40% chance of rain, you're going to get some rain.
That's a good point.
But I'm not sure that Jason's works the same way. Looks like we have a super chat here. Jose Rodriguez, thank you, brother.
What's going on, brother?
Jose Rodriguez, one of the few that like actually has his, I presume, like his own picture. And it's like it looks like he's an upstanding gentleman. It looks like he's wearing a suit of some kind.
You don't think that's his like alias or something?
It could be. $4.99 super chat. Good evening, gents. A question I have about NIL strategy is, does UT value positions the same as the NFL? Example, RBs are low value money, OTs are high money. I don't
know if it's about. I don't know if it's
not. It's not quite. It's not quite the same. I think in general.
I don't think there's a consensus across America. That's the thing. Like the NFL is pretty.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. It's like with the NFL, it's like the mind meld of all the different analytics guys. Like these guys are all real smart. They're all really sharp. They use the same expected points added, expected value, plus EV. They use all of the EPA and these analytical models that are available to everybody, and everybody just knows whenever you look at it from an expected points added or an expected points added and a positive or negative expected value perspective, that your ROI on a running back as it pertains to actual wins, it isn't it it's not worth spending the money on. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that the running game is not important, as we saw last year with Saquon Barkley and like all the rest of it. What it's more of a way of saying that position is your replacement level players, or what am I trying to say, Cody? And what I'm trying to say here is, if you have to replace a guy, right, there's not as big a drop off from say your average, just like you're a slightly above average running back, to a running back that is you can get an average running back, a replacement level running back, sometimes out of off of waivers. And so it's like, well, how much extra do we really need to pay here at this position? Whereas if we lose our left tackle, if we lose our corner, if we lose our star wide receiver, the value there is, it's just like, you can't just find somebody to come in and replace Jamar Chase, or like, it's just, you can't do it. You can't come close. Whereas at the running back position, you can. You add in also the fact that all the different studies about the positive and the negative expected value per position, and also just the expected points added per play. The NFL is a very, very, very homogenous with the way that they see these things. Whereas with colleges, you can get some boomer old coach. So like, doesn't even have to be a boomer. So Steve Sarkisian could see a guy who he's like, dude, that running back would change our offense. Pay him whatever we need. So, no, I don't think they see it exactly the same, but I do think that certainly, I think everybody who understands the sport understands that there are premium positions in the sport, and those are quarterback first and foremost, and then all the players that affect and or protect and or allow that quarterback to do what he needs to do, which is tackles, your receivers, your interior penetrating, your interior penetrating three techniques. Because not only is the defense built around them, but the most detrimental kind of pressure to a quarterback is pressure up the middle of the offense that ruins the pocket from the inside. Your edge rushers and your corners; those are the premium positions in football because of what they do for the quarterback and what they do against the quarterback. And I think everybody knows that. So, Esron 45 asking, when does fall camp open? I believe the date is July 29th. Monday. And then summer workouts start on June 2nd for the Longhorns. Do you want to talk about the guy Sam Rosenborough?
I don't think there's an N in there, but yes.
I'm sorry. What's his name?
Roseboro.
Okay. Dude, so he's from Florida, and I saw
Clearwater, but his mom is from Austin.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw that Jason moved him up, way up as far as the offensive tackle chances. I think he got him up to a 45% chance of committing to Texas?
55.
55. So it's the same as Ojo and Turntine. And so I looked at it. I was like, I've never watched him yet. So I watched him today. Dude, I went and watched him. Holy smokes, man. He's a player. He plays on defense and on offense. He moves really well, has really good feet. I'm not exactly sure about his size, but moves really well and moves very well in all directions. Excellent feet. Navigates so well to the second level, and his ability to engage defenders in free space, to be able to kind of just reset, recalibrate, engage, and boom, man, it's over once he gets his hands on you. I think he's awesome. Like, there's some good offensive linemen that Texas is going to be able to get in this class.
I love him. I watched him a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not as fresh on him as you are right now. But I did watch him a couple of weeks ago. I kind of viewed him as a right tackle. I had him graded and ranked behind Krempin, Turntine, and Ojo. Of course, he's ranked 25th right now in America. I think he's pretty athletic, natural athlete. I compared him to Andre Smith from Alabama. Give him a 4-star. My thought on this was off of something I talked about in the Truth and Lies this week that Jason put up this morning. In the Truth and Lies, the rumor was more about Jackson Cantwell, the kid that committed to Miami, the tackle, the number one tackle in America on Rivals that committed to Miami this week, and what that impact would be on Felix Ojo. So if it was reported $5 million to go to Cantwell, and I'll circle the Roseboro here, but Cantwell reportedly got $5 million for 2 years. And kind of the question was, what would that do? Would there be a shockwave that kind of was sent around to the Ojos, to the Iannachos, to potentially the Turntines from the recruiting perspective and the dollars it takes to get these guys onto your campus? Because now you're in a fight with Turntine from Michigan, and Ojo is Ohio State, and everyone's got money to spend. All these big schools got money to spend. So my question, and I wrote it back in that same post here, was Maximus Wright, Aaron Thomas, the tackle we talked about yesterday, and now Samuel Roseboro. All three of those guys you could probably get for half the perceived price of $2.5 million per year. And is this the classic 3-for-1 from last year with DeCorian Moore, where you get French, you get Lockett, you get McCutcheon instead of DK Moore? I wrote that in this column as a response, and Jason replied and said, I could see that happening, honestly. And my question to you is, after watching Roseboro, you've watched Thomas, and obviously Maximus Wright's now ranked number 9 in America, and we like the projection of Wright. I know your answer will probably be just spend the money, spend all the money. But if we had $100 million, I think we'd spend $100 million. Obviously, there's not $100 million.
It's a different year, dude. It's a different year. I think next year we're going to be having entirely different discussions where it's like where we have to be frugal about the way that we would spend Texas's money. I think this year you can't be frugal if you're Texas. This is the last gasp, dude. This is like Deloitte said 70% of these NIL deals are going to get turned over that come from the collectives. You cannot guarantee Jackson Cantwell $5 million over 2 years unless it's pay for play. You can't guarantee him that like somebody's going to come in and Coca-Cola or Powerade is going to give him a deal for $3 million. You can't guarantee it. You have to let the free market do what the free market's going to do. You can't, there's not going to be any way for these teams they're going to say like, we think you can make a lot of money here. Right now you could tell them you're going to pay it to him. Now, my question is, would Sark even do? I don't know if Sark would do it.
Well, did you see Kirby's quote from today?
No.
So Kirby Smart had a quote.
I think we quote a day from coaches talking about how this thing's gotten too cocky. We're finally where this thing's jumped the shark.
This is from Feinbaum. I don't know if he's on Feinbaum, but this was quoted and tweeted out. This is Kirby Smart. He said, "I just want to be able to have a freshman come in and not make more money than the senior." And
that's how it is now. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to work.
Yeah. So,
what else did he say?
He said, "I'd like a freshman to come in and not make more money than the senior, and I'd like for other sports to be able to survive. We're on the brink of probably 1 or 2 years away from a lot of schools cutting a lot of sports.
We're 1 year, dude. We're a year away from this thing being a lot more normal. So I don't think you should let another school get Ojo because you're Texas and you have all the money in the world. So get Ojo, get Roseboro, get Turntine, get Krempin, get Maximus Wright,
Aaron Thomas.
Get Aaron Thomas. What? How many is that? 7? I'm not sure you can get them all.
I think that's the big 3 you listed: Turntine, Krempin, and Ojo, and then you got the other 3, which is Thomas. That's a sick group of. Now Krempin moves inside. Turntine moves inside. All of a sudden, that's a maniacally large group as well.
And I also think that Roseboro. You tell me Roseboro can't play left guard?
I think he probably play inside.
So
I don't know about Max Wright and Aaron Thomas and Ojo, but
no, he's not Max Wright or Aaron. No, you don't play. Can you imagine? Imagine Aaron Thomas at guard. No.
That's going to be the problem a year from now is when you're going to have like, Nick Brooks and Kojo. You're going to have like these 6'8" offensive linemen with KJ Lacey behind him.
Yeah, well, you don't want Yeah, so you certainly don't want him at guard with KJ Lacey back there. I think, yeah, that could be trouble. But no, I don't see it as the same. I don't. And even if we just throw it all away, I don't think that a trio of Thomas, Roseboro, Maximus Wright is the same as
Ojo by himself.
No, I just don't view it as. I wasn't going to say that. I don't view it as the same caliber of three guys that I would say French, Lockett, McCutcheon, and Terry.
Terry was never included in that bunch, though. It was always like, could you get French and Lockett or DK, right? And McCutcheon was really never even in the conversation either. It was always Lockett and French, right? Can you get French and Lockett? The theory was, I don't know if you can even get both of them. I agree with you. But Max Wright's already ranked top 10. I would argue that Aaron Thomas probably deserves to be top 10. Roseboro, I'm not quite there on. But that's top 10 tackle. That's multiple top 10 tackles in the class. That's technically what French and Lockett was.
Fair enough. It's gotten me stirred up. I feel like I need something to drink. If you need something to drink, the best place to go is Specs.
Texans know for selection and lower prices, it all starts at Specs. Shop Specs! No matter what's on the menu, we've got you covered. With all your favorites on tap, you'll bring home the win. Shop Specs! Special occasion? Flirt responsibly. Boots on, drinks up. The fun starts here.
Shop Specs, low priced, amazing. Here's to you.
And cheers to Specs, man. Cheers to Texas Beef Traders. Cheers to Poncho Outdoors. And cheers to our good friend Andy Ludicky, man. We could not do the show without those guys. Now, you can email us, fwfemails@gmail.com. You can find us on X at Cody Carpentier, at Alex Dunlap NFL. We just ask you for 4 things, man. If you could, please like the show, subscribe to the channel. If you like the show, let a friend know about the show. It helps us immensely. It helps us to grow. And if it's your first time watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're the 99% of people that just watch the show the next day or whenever it is that you're watching it, thank you. And hopefully you come back. We're here every day at 6 p.m. And even as we're having to do some summer travel and stuff like that through the course of the summer, we're going to try and be here most days, even if we have to, before one of us leaves, we got to pre-record some shows or stuff like that. We're going to try and be on live as much as possible. But even during the summertime, as we're cranking up for vacations and stuff, we're going to have some content here for you. So you can count on us for that. All right. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you have a great night. We love you very much. We say God bless you. For Cody, I'm Alex. We're done.